Hi, and thank you for listening. This is Sherry Andrea, and I appreciate you. If you're looking for me, you can find me at sherryspeaks.com, where you can find 80 plus Reiki attunements starting from $2.50 and up. And also, now keep in mind, remember, after you sign up or pay for your Reiki attunements, don't forget a confirmation email will be sent to you with instructions. But even if you don't read it, because I realize some of you do not read your emails, even if you don't read it, remember, log back in, go to account access, then student profile, and courses, and then do your attunement course. And the first part of it that it's going to do is your attunement. Okay. And also on the website, you can also find there's a certificate creator that creates the beautiful certificates. And by the way, I am going to add more certificates to it, more like general certificates for you, those of you who want certificates that say things like energy worker, spiritual healer, light worker, certified psychic. I am going to be adding those within the next couple of days. So that you have a wider variety of the types of certificates you can get for yourself. Because I realize, some of you, could need those and could use them. Okay, so let's just get right to it. Don't forget, please do subscribe, like this video, and also share it if you would like to. Okay, let's get right to it. I want to talk about the third eye, aka the brow chakra. I should have said that in reverse. Brow chakra, aka the third eye. A lot of people hear the third eye and they're not really sure whether to think that's a good thing or a bad thing. A lot of people see a tattoo on somebody that is the eye. And I have a friend, KJ the Mystic, who he has a tattoo of the eye. I can't remember where his tattoo is. I don't remember where it's located, but I know it's visible. A lot of people will ask him about it, but it's so funny how majority of people say, "Are you into the Illuminati?" And he always laughs at that because he's always like, why is it always the Illuminati? Why, for some reason, why is that where they always associate the eye with? Because, there's also the eye of Horus from Egyptian times. You should look that up, the eye of Horus, and what that's all about. But a lot of people think different things about the third eye and the symbol of the eye. Okay, first of all, let's just talk about it as a symbol. First of all, a single eye, it stands for, it's about clarity. It's about being able to see with a single eye versus two eyes, which stands for duality. When you're seeing with two eyes, that's like saying you're not awakened. That's like saying when you're seeing with duality, it's like saying that you're seeing more of the illusion than the truth, the underlying truth. And what you're striving for when you're, after you've awakened or you're working on spirituality, is you are striving to awaken to the truth, inside and out, but mostly within you. You're looking to awaken to a truth that comes from within yourself. But a lot of people, when it comes to opening the third eye, there are so many people that think it's not normal. There are so many people out there still that are like, oh, you shouldn't do that. And I always, and excuse me for saying this, I always kind of feel like, ugh, you idiot. If your third eye wasn't open, you wouldn't dream. If your third eye wasn't open when you were a child, you wouldn't have been having daydreams. If your third eye wasn't open, you couldn't use that natural intuition that most people have. If your third eye was closed or blocked, you'd suffer from things like migraines, sinus problems, even blockage problems with the tear ducts in your eye, even issues with your ears too. The brow chakra and it being out of balance can even affect your ears. So, first of all, let's just explain that health-wise, we're all energy. Everything is energy. And if you have ever had or know about, let's say, what's it called? Acupuncture. There's a lot of people that have had acupuncture and kind of understand it, understand how it works, why it works. Okay, well, there are points in the body, pressure points also, where if you put pressure on them, like let's say if you had a headache, you put pressure on one of those pressure points, your headache will go away. Okay, well, there are energy points within the body where energy flows through them, and it relates to certain health issues. Like, for example, if you had gastrointestinal problems, I could say, well, probably one of your lower chakras is out of balance. Like, for example, it could be your root chakra or most likely your sacral chakra. The chakras also affect the endocrine system. It affects everything, basically. There are not only the major chakras, the 7 major ones, but there are also minor ones as well. I don't know how many chakras are within the hand, throughout the leg, in the head, because you've got chakras that go 3 that go around each ear. You've got 3 at the back of your head. These are also chakras that the state they are in will affect your clairaudience, what you can hear, psychically speaking, metaphysically speaking. So they affect clairaudience. Then, of course, everyone knows about the brow chakra, aka the third eye. The reason why it's called the third eye is because of its location in between the eyes and just above, like right above where the eyebrows are. But it is in line with where the pineal gland is, which is behind that, in your brain, behind that. Okay, so I'm not going to get into it too much because a lot of this stuff, you can Google this on your own to read more in depth. But here's the thing. A lot of people, this is the reason why I wanted to do this video. Okay, so I saw a video the other day that my friend sent me. And it was a video that this lady had done, and she's half crying in this video, although I noticed that, not one tear fell. I really doubted the authenticity of this video. I really think that it was fake, that, she was making it all up. And I'll tell you why in a minute. And she was just sounding like she was in tears and, oh, don't ever do it. Oh, my life has been horrible since I opened my third eye. Don't do it. It's evil. It's the devil. They make you think this, but now I'm possessed. And I mean, she's going on and on and on, sounding like she's crying, but she's not actually. There's no tears coming out or anything. But here's the thing. I've talked to many people who have overdone chakra work when it comes to the brow chakra, and who have regretted, working on their brow chakra. And I will tell you, I know what a person would be saying and talking about if they really kind of went down that road and regretted it. And she didn't say any of those things. She didn't complain about headaches. She didn't complain about not being able to sleep because of an overactive brow chakra. A lot of times when you have an overactive brow chakra, it's very difficult to sleep because you'll close your eyes and it'll be like flashes of light you're seeing because you've overstimulated it. Often you won't be able to, like, it's like visualizations won't stop. And I'm not talking about that you're I'm not saying clairvoyance. I'm not saying that you're constantly, with an overactive brow chakra, that you're constantly getting like messages through visions. What I'm saying is it's almost like the brain is actively putting out hallucinogenic scenery, is what you could call it. And it'll be almost constant to the point where you find it hard to be able to fall asleep. Ringing in the ears is a common symptom with, for opening up the brow chakra, further opening it up. A lot of times, most people that I talk to, after talking to them for just a few minutes, I don't know whether their brow chakra is open or not, because if they start talking to me about dreams they've had, if they start talking to me about, occasionally seeing things in their mind's eye, okay, right there, I already know their brow chakra is open. It's open, doesn't sound like it's blocked. Maybe they just need to, one, open it a little bit further, and then immediately maybe begin practicing using psychic abilities. Most people aren't psychic just simply because it does require a daily practice to really bring those abilities to the surface to the point where you can consciously use them. A lot of times it's not necessarily that a person's brow chakra isn't fully open. It's that, guess what? If you don't practice using psychic abilities, it's kind of like you're not going to have psychic abilities. It's like almost like saying, well, if you don't go to work, you're not going to have money. I mean, common sense, right? If you don't go to work, you don't do some type of work, obviously you're not going to make money. So if you want to use psychic abilities, even just for yourself, if you don't practice it, how are you going to be able to do that? Okay, I want to play the piano, but I also know that if I don't actually practice, I'm not going to be able to call myself a pianist. If I don't practice playing the trumpet, really, am I going to be able to go to a nightclub and be like, can I sit in with the band? Yeah, they're going to kick me out of there if I try to do that, because that first note I play, they're going to be like, they're going to get the bouncer on me. So obviously, anything that is a skill requires practice. And just think of this as a skill. But here's the thing. Even in the Bible talks about the brow chakra. It's just that in the Bible, everything is not written in a literal way, because the books of the Bible, that information was not written at a time where you could freely talk about certain things. So during the time that those books of the Bible were written was during a time where you could actually, be killed for practicing certain things and believing in certain things. And so not everything was written in a straightforward literal way like it is now. Like now we straight out talk about the brow chakra. Back then, for example, in the Gospel of Thomas, Jesus says those with 2 eyes and 2 ears had better listen. This is 2 eyes, 2 ears had better listen. Why? Because people with 2 eyes and 2 ears are the people that would need to listen up the most. Why? Because they're still in a state of duality. The number 2 points at that. He didn't say those seeing with the single eye had better listen. No, because those seeing with a single eye, that alludes to a person who is either awakened or enlightened. They're seeing with a single eye. I I apologize. Yeah, my son's doing a live, and so you can hear him screaming in the background as he plays his Fortnite game. So please just ignore it. Sorry about that. So when people want to assume that speaking about the third eye is something evil, no, it's not. This has to do with you being able to see the underlying truth in things. And yes, working on your third eye and meditating every day, all of these things is what you're advancing to. You're advancing to a point where, yeah, your perspective is going to change and you're going to see things differently, because that's like kind of what you're developing. You're gradually getting to the point where you're not living in a state of duality where you can't see the truth that's right in front of your face, where the truth becomes more and more obvious to you. This is, I feel, the most important reason to want to work on your brow chakra. Not just so you can use psychic abilities, but so that you have a greater spiritual awareness and the ability to see and understand truth at a higher spiritual level. And I just want to say, so this isn't something that's just metaphysical. This is something that affects your health. The chakras do affect your health, as many of you already know. Yes, the chakras, working on them will help you awaken abilities. That is true also. But then certain chakras will do certain specific things. And if you've looked up, if you've Googled any of the chakras and read about them, you know that each chakra, it affects something, even health-wise. And for example, and I'm just going to kind of ramble these things off. Okay, so just quickly, third eyebrow chakra, like I said, it can affect things like migraines, sinus problems, but it can also help you to help with clairvoyance, lucid dreaming, greater insight into the truth. So you could say that it also helps with having better intuition. Let's go down to the throat chakra. The throat chakra actually affects clairaudience, hearing. But the throat chakra being in a good state also can affect things like people who suffer from laryngitis, bronchitis, well, more laryngitis, children that live in a home with very controlling parents where they don't really have a voice because maybe they have very, very controlling and strict A-type personality parents where they don't really have a voice, that commonly lose their voice. And this is also psychological. And I know someone like this. They commonly will lose their voice because they're always holding back. They can't talk back to their parents. They don't really have a voice. They can't speak up. They're being yelled at all the time. If they make one little mistake, they're being scolded so badly. The punishments are harsh. They're always having to hold back. They never get to speak their piece, speak their truth, to speak up at all. And then they end up suffering. They lose their voice often. I know a child who goes through this, and they're often losing their voice. Even with adults who are in situations where they're not really speaking up for themselves, they're not speaking their truth, they're holding back. will often suffer from sore throats, tonsillitis often. And I always say for people who are going through that, you really need to be speaking up more. I also suggest singing in the shower, sing along to some songs. Let that voice out, let it out. Stop holding it in, stop holding it back. Heart chakra. This affects and controls empathy. Now that doesn't mean if you're suffering with your empathy that you should try and close your heart chakra, because the way the chakra system works is they naturally open. It's natural for them to be open. So even if you did try to close them, they would naturally open back up on their own. It's better for you to work with your empathy to be able to get control of it. If you actually work with it, work with developing it, really work with it. In developing it, you'll get control of it, and then you'll suffer less. But also, like, the heart chakra can affect other things. Like, for example, let's say you have some blocked vessels, partially blocked vessels. Maybe you don't know, but that can affect your heart chakra. Your heart chakra would be out of balance, and I'm speaking from experience with that one. Let's see, the solar plexus chakra. Oh, I love this one. It's about your power. This is like standing up for yourself. Really embracing your power. A lot of people, they really do need more work on their solar plexus chakra. So the solar plexus is seen like the sun. It is bright like the sun. It is one of the chakras that lends to the aura being so bright. The aura is supposed to be bright. Okay, you know how on like TV shows and movies where maybe it's some ghost movie or something, and they're saying, oh, you know what I mean, the ghost like saw your light because the aura, your aura was shining so bright that the ghost could find you, spirits could find you. Okay, well, actually, all of that is true. That is how spirits find you. That is how they see you, because it is how bright your light is. But that light, where does all that brightness comes from? It comes from all of the chakras, but the one chakra that really, really makes your aura very bright is the solar plexus chakra that shines like the sun. And that's how you can kind of envision it. A big ball of sun. Like literally when I work my solar plexus chakra, I literally visualize it as though I'm looking at the sun, and it's so bright that I almost can't look at it. Then the sacral chakra. Now keep in mind, a lot of times when you go through a breakup, like let's say your significant other broke up with you and you're feeling really bad about it, where do you feel that at? You feel it in your gut. You feel it in the pit of your stomach. The same place you get butterflies, right? That's where your emotion is felt at. So whether it's that you're upset or you're angry, you're in an argument with somebody, notice a lot of times when you get into a bad argument with somebody, you start getting a stomach ache, right? That's your sacral chakra, because that emotion affects it. And basically, you could say anytime you have some extreme emotion that it's causing your sacral chakra to be out of balance. There are some people, their sacral chakras just stay out of balance because they're always either angry or they're upset. They're from one extreme emotion to another. butterflies in your stomach, even when you get nervous, even if this is about, there's somebody that you really like, a girl or a guy you really like, and every time you have the opportunity to see them and talk to them, you get all nervous and you feel those butterflies in your stomach. That's your chakra. I can't pronounce tonight. That's your sacral chakra. Ignore me. Um, okay, so and then we have the root chakra. Often the root chakra, you know, um, it can affect feminine issues like um really bad menstrual cramps, fertility. Um, it can also affect digestive disorders. Um, the root chakra is very important. The root chakra is important because it is the last place the energy passes through your body before it leaves out of your foot chakra. So the root chakra is actually responsible for preparing the energy before it exits out of your foot chakra. So you can understand why the root chakra is so important. And then of course the foot chakra is important because that is the last point the energy, you know, the last point the energy goes through before it exits your body. So whether it's a blocked root chakra or foot chakra, both are bad to have. Foot chakra is easy to clear. Soak your feet in salt, sea salt water. Just make some warm, not hot, but warm water with sea salt in it and do a foot soak. One of the easiest ways to clear your foot chakra. Yeah, you could also, if you go to get a pedicure and they do the whole foot massage thing, that would also help to clear your foot chakra. Sometimes when you go to get the pedicure, they not only, they are rubbing on your feet, but sometimes they also rub up your legs, you know, um, that also helps to clear the chakras that are in the leg. Now, so if you do that even yourself, like say when you're putting lotion or cream on your skin and take your time and rub nice and slowly, you'll be actually helping the chakras, that are in the various areas of your body, which are the minor chakras. Okay, so I know this was about the third eye, and I got into explaining some things about the other chakras, but I felt it was relevant to do that because the brow chakra is not an evil thing. You know, just like the tattoo of a single eye is not evil if you understand its symbolism, its meaning. Um, it is always um, about more than just metaphysics. It's also about, you know, how your health is. And that's another reason why it's important. So I just want to do this video because I think that a lot of people think, there are a lot of people out there still that think that, when people talk about the third eye or, wanting to awaken their third eye, that this is something bad. It's not anything bad. Um, it's no worse than saying, I want to breathe. And to survive and to live, you have to breathe. The chakra system is important for you to continue living. Literally, it does help to keep you alive. For example, if you have a chakra that is out of balance and that imbalance is never corrected, it can manifest as so many things, even cancer. Every time I hear about somebody having cancer, what one of the things that I immediately think is that something was not rectified. There's an underlying cause to that cancer. Something for a period of time was not rectified. The chakra was out of balance, and eventually, if the chakra stays out of balance, it eventually outwardly manifests as something. It could be any illness. I mean, it could be a heart problem, it could be cancer, it could be problems with your sight, problems with your hearing, problems with having regular headaches, migraines. Um, Sometimes when I'm stubbornly not seeing the truth of something, I do get a slight headache. I've had friends that are into Buddhism, metaphysics, that, when I complain, I'm like, "Ugh, I keep having this dull headache every day." And they'll say to me, what truth is it? What is it that you've been trying to be shown that you're not like buying into? Or what is it that you're not seeing? Because sometimes we do that. We're being shown some truth in some way, shape, or form that we are just not seeing. Sometimes that truth is right in front of our face, right? And we're not seeing it. Especially when it comes to dealing with people. Okay, raise your hands. How many people have had to learn the lesson about a certain person the hard way over and over and over and over again until they finally said, enough is enough. I'm no longer going to deal with that person because this person is causing me all kinds of problems and heartache and everything. But when you think about it, how many issues, how many instances, different issues and things did it take before you finally got it? Well, that has to do with not seeing the truth either, as well. It's kind of like you're ignoring it or you're avoiding seeing it. This can affect the brow chakra as well. But the brow chakra isn't anything evil, but I just want to say, and I want to remind you, too much of anything can be bad. So when you do your chakra work, what you're trying to do is you're trying to not overdo it. And believe me, if you overdo work on your brow chakra, you will regret it. Because some people, when they overdo it and overstimulate it, and you can end up damaging the chakra, sometimes it can take months before that chakra heals. And in the meantime, you're suffering headaches. You can't sleep well at night. You're having sensitivity to light, ringing in the ears, everything. Now, ringing in the ears when you're opening up your brow chakra more, that is normal to have. It is something that I know I had to deal with it. I want to say I know it was more than a month. It was more than a month that I had ringing in the ears. It was something that after maybe, it's annoying at first. It's bothersome. After a while, you start to be able to ignore it a little bit. But that, I would say, is probably the worst part of making that decision to open up your brow chakra more, is because the slight dull headache around the third eye area and the ringing in the ears. However, when you get these things, no, you haven't done anything wrong. This is a normal symptom to opening up the brow chakra more. So it is normal. And it is okay to take an aspirin. It's not going to affect your brow chakra opening just because you took an aspirin to get a little relief. So remember, it is okay. It's okay to, have some chamomile tea, take a couple aspirin. It is okay to do that. But anyway, if you would like to share your thoughts on, the brow chakra, the third eye, if you'd like to share even links to, maybe pictures. If you got a third eye tattoo, please, if you got a link to a picture of it that you can share, make sure it's a third eye what it's supposed to be and not something else, please. But feel free to share that. If if you want to share your experiences with awakening your brow chakra, even if it was a bad experience for you, because sometimes, like I said, people do overdo it. But if you would like to share that, love to hear it. As I said, keep it positive. Let's not have any talks about it's the devil, it's this, it's that. Let's keep it positive. Let's keep it positive and let's keep it true. That's the most important thing. None of this science fiction, it's the devil thing. Okay. So anyway, thank you for listening. I really appreciate you. Like I said, feel free to comment, keep it positive. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and also like and share the video if you'd like to. I appreciate you, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Namaste.